What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me, but I just got home off of an early morning flight, right? First thing through the door, I want to see my family. I love my family. You know, I'm a family man. I'm an advocate for families, right? Second thing, I got to get that hot shower because I got to throw the threads on. The threads make me feel like $1,000,000, but the third thing through my mind and all throughout the trip is that I gotta have that Tej pack. Tej makes my life uncomplicated. It's uncomplicated skincare for men. The first way that I started specifically was their level 1 system. It's a daily face wash to get rid of the dirt and grime on your skin. 2 times per week exfoliating scrub to get rid of the dead skin cells. An AM moisturizer with SPF 20 because you should always be protecting your skin from the sun. And a PM moisturizer to help your skin stay hydrated and healthy throughout the night. Here's the thing. My favorite part about Tej Henley is that every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. They really making the process of achieving and maintaining amazing skin for men uncomplicated. In addition to amazing skin, members of Tej Henley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off the retail price, the ability to customize your box, exclusive monthly deals, you can pause and cancel at any time, and you get free shipping. And because Tej Henley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers an amazing deal, right? Just click the first link in the description and you get 30% off your first box, plus a free gift. It's an amazing deal. You got to get started today. You're not out here trying to look like a dusty. And if you travel as much as I do, which I'm sure most people don't, but you know me, I'm pushing my bag chasers in order to be in the top 5%, top 10%, top 1%. We got to make our lives uncomplicated, and Tej Henley is no better product. You got to look good. You got to smell good. And you can't be looking like a dusty. Make sure you get started today. Click the link in the description. Get that Tej pack. Feel the Tej, my friends. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I'm your host, Anton Daniels. And it's been a great week. Where is my watch at? There we go. It's been an incredible week, ladies and gentlemen. How y'all doing today? Let me get a one word in the chat of how y'all feeling today, what y'all general sentiment is. One word in the chat, how y'all feeling today? Are y'all feeling like it's been a great day? Is everything good? Did y'all rocking out? Did y'all enjoy the show last night? Did y'all enjoy the show last night? That is what I'm wondering. Did y'all enjoy the show last night? What's happening, friends and family? I see my people in there. Ari, Purple Haze, Cartez, Messy, Sabrina, Kojak, Anwar. Amazing. What up, though? Spaces said you feeling... Spaces is always extra. Spaces is like that bad kid. I didn't even realize that Spaces is a bad kid. And believe it or not, I actually met Spaces in real life in Detroit. But Spaces is like that bad kid that always want attention. So they're going to say, I'm bad, lazy, stupid, you know. Like they never, ever have a good sentiment. But I'm paying attention. I watch my people. In my white tee, yes, I am. Chilling in the crib. Chilling, terrible, Jesus Christ. Inspired, Imagine said he got a broken leg. Listen, you'll be all right. Man up. Need to be successful, blessed, on purpose. Blessed, relaxed, phenomenal, amazing. Happy Friday. Excited, tired, strong. Catching up, grateful. Fantastic and productive, resilient, caffeinated, flowing, blessed, healthy, blessed. Shout out to ABJ's Wise, Strong, and Self, Trailblazer, phenomenal, humble, yes. Morning, yes. Shout out to One Conservative Chick, stupendous, manifestation, blessed, fabulous, stoic. Yes, Spaces, you always on that other stuff. Good, great after hours. Yeah, it was dope, wasn't it? Amazing, clean shaven, no facial hair. Hold on, wait a minute. Tell me at least you got a stash, man. Knobs, tell me you got a stash. Yes, indeed. Focusing. What up though? Last night was epic. Show last night was phenomenal. Yo, if y'all not a part of what we be doing on After Hours is my most lit show. I mean, I know we get to the money. I know we talk about the morning show. Shout out to my dog, your car. But I'm telling you, bro, if y'all not a part of what we doing on After Hours, you are seriously missing out. Got my dog Anthony Brian Logan. He came through last night, so that was dope. Shout out to Amike Wilson. Said thanks for your time and passion to help others. I appreciate you, big dog. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Charles Pride came through and hit me on Cash App also. I appreciate you, Charles. Mike that dude says for accomplished but not yet finished, not at the finish line yet. Shout out to Mike that dude. Let me see what else. I got my girl Messy in the building. She says, your grind is unmatched. Anton, for the love of God, go to sleep. What makes y'all think that I don't get no sleep? It's a perception, right? It's a perception that I'm really online all the time. The reality is this, like I do be in the streets more than not. I'm never really at home and chilling unless I'm tending to other people that's in the house or I'm entertaining. But I live stream in the morning for a little over 2 hours in most instances. And then I live stream at night for about 2 to 3 hours. So at most, let's say you online for 4.5 hours as far as taking care of business. But the rest of it seems like you're doing a lot more than you really are, I guess, because I got the right people around me making sure that the perspective is given. So it's dope. But I mean, you got to grind. You got to hustle. If you want it, you got to go get it. And that's just the way we do it, baby girl. So love you, love this chat. And if I wasn't on here making sure that I added value into your life, what else would you be doing? Taking in a bunch of nonsense that wasn't even best for you. So I got to make sure that y'all taken care of, Messy. Shout out to my dog, Kojak. Says, what up, though, bro? I want to thank you and everyone for praying for my mom yesterday. She's back home resting. Much appreciated. Shout out to Kojak. Be Humbug, or Humbug says, for the collection plate this fine morning. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. My dog, Jay Ben, is in the building and says, shout out to the single moms with zesty sons fumbling the bag from Keith Lee, experience in Dallas, greed and most. Oh, we're going to go over that. You know I got to get to that. I had to get to that. Shout out to your car. Your car is very, very, very much a great person that absolutely shows love. Shout out to my new friend over there in Illinois. Dr. Nikita Cloud is in the building. Says she got that super sticker for your boy. I love you, Nikita. I love you. You had a great interview and you are absolutely awesome. Housekeeping. Make sure that y'all tap into the Tej Hanley. 30% off your first order plus a free gift. Tej is the sponsor of the show and we absolutely use Tej every single day. And so I love my Tej Hanley. In addition to that, make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. So the best day to get into Patreon is the beginning of the month. Yesterday is no longer here, so all we got is today. And so the second best day of getting the Patreon is the second day of the month. If you are not a part of the Bag Chasers, if you're not a part of the Patreon, shame on you. Seriously, shame on you. And I'm tired of people keep hitting me up and emailing me talking about, Anton, I'm going to join soon. I'm going to join soon. It's $15. It's $15, like fast, big dog. Go on to fast. We all can afford to miss a couple meals or two, right? Stop going to McDonald's and get something that's actually going to help you grow, bro. So, yeah, man, it's crazy. It's crazy. I see Cartez Cookies is running up the bag on them cookies, though, on the low. Chase with the beard on TikTok says, I stopped buying those scratch-off tickets from the gas station and signed up. See, let me get a round of applause. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Chasers and the New Bag Chasers and the Patreon members. And congratulations to all of the people that rock out. Global Chef says, happy Aloha Friday, AD and the family. Stay blessed. Thank you, my friend, for holding me down. Messy came through and says, oh, and these cookies are sinful Cartez cookies. If y'all have not got y'all Cartez cookies, I don't even know if I got the box no more. We ate all of them joints up. I ain't even going to lie. Make sure you go get your Cartez cookies. That's Cartez with a K. It's dope. Thank you, Messi. I appreciate you. Mr. Lot, my guy. Says all numbers this month, Chasers. Let's go. Yo, we in the beginning of the month, second month of the year. It's going to fly by. Last year flew by like crazy, and this year is going to be no different. Wendell Kilgore says, shout out to AD for the great insight this week. I'm grateful to be a part of the community and ecstatic to run the numbers up. Shout out to my people out here in these streets. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for the early super chats. I will be reading them throughout the show, and I appreciate you guys for subscribing and supporting not only here because Chat Lives Matters, we are family, but also thank you for you guys supporting what we got going on After Hours. That was a great, fun show last night. I'm not sure if I'm going to live stream tonight or if I'm going to live stream tomorrow night. I'll figure it out. Either I'm going to live stream tonight or I'm going to live stream tomorrow night, but I'll figure it out. Thursdays is ours. Thursdays is ours. So we got a full show for y'all today. All right. Let me give you a little bit of preview. So we're going to do quick hits slightly differently because I wanted to kind of make a whole segment out of this one thing because I know that there was news that I was following that I told you guys that I would follow up on. I want to talk about the migrants that got arrested for beating up the NYC police officer that was giving a middle finger as they got bailed out. I want to talk about the Keith Lee thing. I got boxes that I want to unbox here. If you've read the title of this live stream, then you know what that box is. So this is the first official day of the release of it as far as it going to the general public because I am not necessarily an influencer, a tech influencer, but I did get the technology, and so I wanted to bring it to you guys first so you can see what it looks like. First impressions. I have not opened the box yet. It is sitting right here. So we are going to go over that very, very shortly. I got a full show for you guys. We're going to get into Fani Willis. Crime that's happening out here in these streets, Dolton shootings. It's a lot to go over. It's a lot to go over. Shout out to my friend. Hey, can we all get a round of applause for your car out here in the building? Hold on, let me highlight him because I do love my people. I love the people that support me, and your car is very much a person that is very, very supportive of us as a family. So shout out to your car. I wanted to give you a round of applause. I see my dog Tech Coach Ralph. He be doing some great things inside of the Discord. If y'all not a part of the Discord, the link is in the description of any of the most recent videos that's inside of the Patreon. If you're looking to get into Patreon, a link to the Patreon is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. All right. So let's go ahead and get into the show. Connie, I love Connie. Absolutely. I did see what's happening over there in California and Arizona. There are some Dolton shootings, so we're going to get into that. But first and foremost, let's just get into a modified version of quick hits, all right? So I know that we usually do the little spinning thing and all of that, but we're going to make a slight adjustment today, just for today, because I want to go over this really quickly. So remember the Kansas City Chiefs fans, it was 3 of them that basically passed away or perished, and it seemed like they all perished and they froze to death. And then the one friend whose house they was over didn't realize that they were still frozen to death after like a couple days or 3 days or some crap like that until they did a welfare check. And then what happened is the wives of one of the guys came over, and then the police came in, and he wound up opening the door. They had to bust the window. He came in with his drawers. He had a Mai Tai. He had a little drink in his hand. He had been asleep, knocked out. Their cars were still there. And then they went in the backyard and they found 3 of the dudes of his friends, the Kansas City Chiefs friends, were basically frozen to death. They was frozen stiff. Now, the theory was that they died from something else and that they didn't actually freeze to death, but because they were back there for so long, the bodies wind up getting frozen after they wind up passing away, right? So that was the theory. Everybody's waiting on the toxicology reports and stuff like that. And so that news recently was released, and I want to make sure that you guys are updated on what's going on out in these streets. So let me go ahead and revisit that because, again, this is something that I promised you guys that I wanted to stay up to date with. So I'm going to bring that to you, and this is what happened.
I'm kind of losing my mind on this one, Alex. You know, I fully expected we were going to hear something about drugs in the toxicology report. That was not a surprise to me. But at the same time, I didn't expect to hear from the victim's stepmom last night and hear that there were pill bottles inside a backpack that the police did not even bother to take. What are you hearing on the scene at this point?
Look, I can tell you that this was unexpected, not just for us, but also for the family members. Think about this. I've been knocking on doors, including the medical examiner's office, asking them, look, are you guys going to expedite this toxicology report? And basically, they told me point blank, no, this case is no different than anyone else that comes across our desk. But something must have happened. Something must have changed. Maybe it was that meeting with the Platte County prosecutor, because now all of a sudden we are seeing an expedition of this case. All of a sudden, preliminary toxicology reports are coming into the families, and they now know at least a portion of the story, which is inside of the bloodstream of those three men was fentanyl, cocaine, and THC. We don't know the actual specifics, the levels that might have been in that bloodstream. Certainly it was enough to go beyond, well beyond the lethal dosage. But again, the actual toxicology reports are not in the hands of the families at this point. It's in the hands of the detectives, and they have not turned that over yet. But at least the Kansas City Police Department decided that we need to give these folks some answers at least, so that way they can get some closure. Right now, preliminary results, obviously we're asking for that toxicology report so we can get those details and we can report the official cause of death. But that still could take several more weeks.
So let's stop there for a minute and let's break this down. All right. My first question is, why does everything take so long in the United States of America? I mean, in China and other countries, even in the South sometimes, depending on what city that you go to, you can throw a whole house up in like 2 to 3 months. Yo, based off of the all of the red tape that you got to deal with pulling permits and all of the stuff and the problems and the trouble and stuff like that, you look at these guys working on the freeway, they take 1,000 years just to build one spot or portion, and then we look over there and we can see in other countries and stuff, they be throwing that junk up in no time. Or if you go down south, a lot of these illegal immigrants, they be up here throwing up, and these Mexicans be throwing these buildings so freaking fast. Neither here nor there. But they basically was telling them, listen, this case is no different than any other case, and so we're not going to expedite it and put the toxicology reports or the results of it ahead of time. Now, I did a little bit more research other than what it is that I see reported on the internet, and what I'm also finding is that even the results that was given to the family was leaked. Okay? The results that was given to the family was leaked, meaning that they didn't even officially reveal whatever the cause of death is or the toxicology report. They still doing the autopsy. They still going through the results. They still revealing it. But this was basically leaked to the media, and it was leaked to the family. And then the family leaked it to the media. And they basically saying that, listen, they had weed, cocaine, fentanyl, and and they was drunk. Weed, cocaine, fentanyl, and they was drunk. All three of them. Now, I'm still looking at this and I'm saying, well, this still looks fishy. Thank y'all for the super chats. I'm going to be reading those shortly. I'm still looking at it and it still looks fishy. But it's two things that I want to say before I continue to show this and before I show the rest of this report, right? Two things that we need to have a conversation about. Number one, don't do drugs, okay? I know that that's an old slogan. I know y'all feel like y'all want to do what y'all want to do. I know half of y'all or most of y'all out here smoking trees or doing something crazy. Look, we got enough stuff to kill us that's in our food. We already got all of these preservatives. We already got all of this crap that we eating that's much different than what they eating as natural over in other countries. We already doped up off prescription medicine in order to treat the symptoms of our problems instead of getting to the root cause of our issues. But then we gonna complicate it on top of it. And then we smoking and sniffing and taking stuff that's laced up, laced down trash, and it's hit up with fentanyl and horse tranquilizer, and it's stomped on. Now, a lot of y'all may not know what being stomped on means, but being stomped on means that it came over here super pure, and then what they did was they cut it up in order to make more profit while still trying to allow for it to be as potent as it could possibly be. So you wouldn't really notice as much of a difference, but they can generate more revenue, okay? So they stomping on it with supplies that make it more plentiful and also trying to keep the potency of it, and it's killing y'all. Now, I still find it weird that all three of these guys are still sitting in the back and they all just die at the same time and they all freeze to death. So I'm not just going for that and thinking that that's the end of the conversation. But the fact that they out here, yo, you got all of these drugs in y'all system, man, I'm high off life. I am high off life. And so y'all out here taking all of these drugs and it's laced with crap and fentanyl. Y'all don't even know what y'all doing and smoking and putting in y'all body, and y'all justifying it in order to, keep y'all somewhat sane or something throughout the day or whatever. I have no idea. All I know is, yo, leave these drugs alone, man. If y'all have not figured out how to wean yourself off of all of these drugs and stuff like that, you really need to figure it out and detox, bro, because it's not good for you. I don't smoke nothing. I don't take nothing. I'm not doing it. I've never been interested in it. It's never been a thing for me. We already got enough stuff that we got to deal with. A lot of these guys are starting to experience, they drinking this lean and junk like that, man. It's messing up y'all. Y'all getting erectile dysfunction because of the stuff that you taking every day and the stuff that you putting in your body. Nah, man, listen, we got to detox. We got to do something a little different. And y'all got this stuff that's out here that's killing y'all, and it's not good. But let me play the rest of this report, and then we're going to get to the rest of the show.
Yeah, and you would think that the families, I mean, it's one thing to get a phone call from the detective, right, to tell you here's what we can, finally reveal. It's another thing to get your hand on the autopsies, and you and your lawyer can go over them and decide what the next step is, like maybe wrongful death lawsuits, like that's something entirely possible. I'm curious, Alex, I'm not going to suggest for a minute that you have been able to dig into the digital files of all of these people, the party guests, Jordan Willis, etc. That's likely something that is tightly held by the police. But is that a mine that should be looked at this point? The fact that maybe there was a whole bunch of chit chat between all the guys before they came over for the visit to Jordan Willis's house pertaining to what they might be bringing with them for fun, party favors.
I think that's a great question. I think that if this does move to criminal prosecution, certainly phone lines and text messages, Facebook messages, social media chats, that's all going to be closely examined. Obviously, we heard yesterday from the cousin of Clayton, Caleb, who said that this was just a normal activity that happens when surrounded by Jordan, that he is known to manufacture and distribute drugs to his friends for recreational purposes, was that line of thought. But certainly I think the families, when speaking to them, they're not against criminal prosecution, but only if it actually is deemed to be.
So homie was the dealer. He wasn't a user, he was a dealer. He never got high off of his own supply. Known to be the dealer, got the heck up out of there. Everybody else died. Never get high off your own supply. Number 5, never sell no crack where you rest at. I don't care if they want an ounce, tell them bounce. Number 6, that got credit, forget it. You think a crackhead paying your back, forget it. How many of y'all ever heard of the 10 Crack Commandments on Biggie's album? I think that's the greatest hip hop album of all time. Life After Death is the greatest album of all time. Let's get it through.
Criminal behavior in terms of maybe passing out these drugs, which ultimately led to their deaths. They're not saying, they're not pushing for that. Yesterday it was mostly about just, look, we want answers. We're hoping to get those answers. And if it leads to criminal prosecution, great. But I think, honestly, that meeting with the Platte County prosecutor is probably what expedited this toxicology report, because now, all of a sudden, the Kansas City Police Department, the medical examiners are seeing real action being taken by these victims' families, and they're hustling it along.
Yeah, I mean, I smell a wrongful death suit, probably 3 wrongful death suits at this point from the 3 different families. Listen, I can't imagine what they're going through, because it's bad enough to lose your loved one suddenly, and then it is brutal to lose your loved one and not have answers. And I can't even for a moment fathom what it's like to do that in the national spotlight, and then to get this call and this to be in the national spotlight. Are any family members sort of talking about the effects of this on them? I mean, I just would imagine that they're grieving privately, but has anyone said anything?
Hey, imagine being one of the family members and you the wife of one of these dudes. You go over there. And again, this is one of the reasons why I'm not interested in Sausage Fest, because somebody said it in the chat. You need some ladies that's around you. I mean, look, I know we hold them accountable and stuff, but good God, like, imagine dying and you find out that your man died in the cold from going over there with his buddies in order to watch a Kansas City Chiefs game and get high, and they had cocaine, fentanyl, and alcohol in their system and trees all at the same time. Imagine a toxicology report get released back to you when you find out that your husband was a crackhead, that your step baby daddy was a crackhead.
You know, what's interesting is I think this brings a sense of relief. Yesterday, when speaking to them, they said, we just want to know that people are looking into this, that this is an actual investigation, and that if we don't have the answers, but at least someone's looking for the answers. And so when answers did come today to their doorstep, to their phones, I think that was a relief. Oh my gosh, now we sort of are getting closer to the answers that we've all...
Nah, I can't imagine that. You're not going to sit here and tell me that that was a relief. I think that that was absolutely a headache. Shout out to Charles Pratt. I appreciate you for holding me down, big dog. Thank you for the Cash App. Also, on top of that, Jenny Jackson. I appreciate you too, my love. Jenny, you are the best. Thank you, Jenny. Let me read some of these super chats, and that was our version of quick hits before we get into the show. Let me read some of these super chats, and we're going to get it popping. Are you coming down for All-Star Weekend? You talking about down to Indiana? Nah, I can't imagine that. And the only reason that I'm probably not going to come down for All-Star Weekend is because I got to monitor things at home and make sure that Rita is good. You know what I'm saying? She's still, even though she's out and about and she's moving and she's good, she still need a babysitter. You know what I'm saying? Time Dog got to make sure I babysit the family. So sometimes you got to put some stuff on the back burner in order to ensure that the family is good. I will be back in the studio next week, but I still think that I need to be home to the crib. So I don't know. I might go. It's only a weekend. I might tap in. I heard y'all got a basketball court inside of the airport. I might come down there. Scooby Don says, yo, I don't be getting notified when you go live. The algorithm, I don't even know. I don't even show you on here, and I had to type it in the search bar. Nothing I could do about that, big dog. All I could do is complain about it. Nothing I could do about it. That's why you got to share it with y'all family and friends. Shout out to Cartez Cookie with the 1888. Says, Anton, the value you add is unmatched. In the mindset we adopt, the bag chases are amazing. Love y'all. Since joining, my perspective is better, putting systems in place and getting my numbers right. Shout out to Cartez Cookies. Make sure y'all go to Cartez Cookies. Just Google it and order your cookies. It is the best cookies on the internet. Honest to God. Shout out to the Chasers. If y'all not a part of the Bag Chasers, if you're not a part of the Patreon, you're listening to it right here. We take people's businesses to the next level. We take people's businesses, we run the check up, and we make sure you get to the next level. Shout out to Cartez Cookies. Darnell says, I purchased Meta and in the Roth after the first stock club, and we are up 16% today. Appreciate you for the real. Shh. They don't want to talk about stock club. They don't want to talk. They don't want to make money. They want to hold on to their little bit of dollars, they last $15 that they was going to use for McDonald's instead of making sure that they align themselves with a group of people that's going in the direction that they're going in. They ain't want to focus, Darnell. You up 16%. They down $15 because they wanted to use it on Mickey D's. Can't even be a dollar millionaire no more. Chris J is in the building, says, good morning, people, here for the unboxing. Yeah, let's get to the unboxing. Let me read a couple of super chats and we're going to get to the unboxing. Hong Jiap. Shout out to Hong Jiap. I appreciate you, big dog, for the 20 ball. You know, we don't discriminate over here. We get bags with everybody. Humberto Ramos says, Big AD, what up, though? Me and my wifey started selling used authentic luxury bags in October and made almost $40,000. Thanks to your streams planning a trip to Japan for better deals. How can I get bags back to the States? Well, that's a little bit deeper because then you got to do declarations and then you might have to pay a tax on it when it's imported and you want to make sure that you can get it through customs. So it's a lot deeper than that. Let me think about that. Email me, Humberto Ramos. Email me, big dog, at AntonDaniels413@gmail.com. And we can have a conversation about that because I am familiar with the import-export business. Yes, I am. And shout out to you for making that extra 40 ball. Chase Barnes says, say it with me, class. Just say no, man. Stay off them drugs, bro. Stay off that fentanyl-laced nonsense that they putting into y'all system that got y'all walking around like zombies on Kensington Ave. All right. So I am very excited for this part of the show. And again, we're doing it a little bit differently. Let me make sure that I got this set up right. All right, let's see what we got. So, we're going to do a live unboxing of the Vision Pro. It's one box that I do not have here. All right, so a lot of y'all want to know what $4,600 looks like, right? Early adopter, first one with it. And I got a couple boxes here. This box, I'm assuming is that box. I'm assuming is the case for it. All right, so let's do this. It's a little tab right here. We're just gonna pull that. And Apple does really, really well with its boxes. With its packaging, however they choose to engineer this stuff. Ooh, okay, so let me revise that. Because it looks like it's supposed to, I don't know if this is supposed to be up or down. So let me flip that around. It looks like maybe it's supposed to go like that. Let's do that. Let's point that down a little bit. Now, some of you may be wondering, Anton, why did you spend $4,600? Why did you spend $4,600 for this thing when they only advertising it for $3,500? Well, one of the reasons why I spent $4,600 is because you can basically option it up. I think that the storage in this device, the initial storage might have been 256, then it was 512, and then you can get basically 1 terabyte. I opted for the 1 terabyte, which costs significantly more. I also got the carrying case for it, so that costs a lot more. And I got the prescription lenses for mine. So I had to upload my prescription lenses. Those are going to come later because I uploaded my prescriptions late. So you can basically pop those into this device. And then you got prescription glasses because it allows for you to see everything that's around you the same way that you're seeing it without having the goggles on, okay? So we're going to pop this open. All right, looks like we got a little bit of spot right here that we got to pop open. Yep. And we got one on the other side right here. All right. Ooh. So this is what it looks like. All right. I'm guessing that's a cover, right here. And this is the back of it. So you got this right here. All right. This turns like that. These are speakers, I believe, right here. Right here and right here. And then this protects the front of it, the actual goggles themselves. And then this is like a stretchable knit band right here. All right. You see if there's anything else in this box. This is a very, very big box just to have that on top of it. All right. So inside of it, let me spin this around real quick so y'all can see this. Make sure we look at this right. So inside of it, I have this, which I'm guessing this is like all of the paperwork and the documentation and everything like that. Yeah, so it gives you all of the instructions. But you know who we are. We black people. We don't necessarily read the instructions. We just start playing with it and we figure it out from there. We may read the instructions later if we're trying to figure something out, or we'll just Google it or put it in YouTube, right? So that's that. And then you have the dual loop band. All right, so the dual loop band. Let's do this. Pop that open. So this is the dual loop band. All right. So the dual loop band actually attaches to the goggles. So I'm guessing that if it gets a little bit too heavy, or if you want to have it across the top and you don't just want to have it across the back, so it'll actually go on top of it like this. Okay. So that's the dual loop band. And looks like we have a charger right here. So let me just show you what it looks like. This is what's in here. All right. So this is the battery. This is really heavy. This is like all metal. I don't know if this is aluminum. I don't know what this is, but this is really heavy. And you got the charger right here, the charging cable. And then you got that right there. And then I don't know what's in here. Looks like more. Oh, this is a polishing cloth. What else is in here? Looks like a polishing cloth. So a lot of times, a lot of people like to use a regular rag or Windex. You don't necessarily want to use that. You want to get you a polishing cloth in order to clean off your screen and stuff like that. Just put that right there. And then they say that this is a light seal cushion. Okay, so I'm guessing that this goes in the inside of. So this goes in the inside of the goggles. And it's a seal cushion that goes in the inside back here, I'm guessing. All right. Put a lot of this down. Am I missing anything? That. Vision Pro. Directions. All right. So before I do that, let me open up this other box. So let me set this to the side real quick. So this other box is just a regular box. This ain't no unique box. So you just open and pop this open, I'm guessing. I wonder how many of these went out today. Because I hear some people that's getting theirs later because they ordered it later. I ordered mine on the first day that it was available. Whenever I feel resistance, I feel like I'm opening it up the wrong way. This is the travel case. It's actually relatively big. So this is the travel case. Let me make sure that I can see all comments. It's a really large travel case. If I was at the studio, I had better cameras for y'all to actually see what's going on, but I don't even know how to open this thing. I don't want to break it. All right, so this is the travel case. This thing is expensive too. But I mean, if you're gonna go ahead and start spending a whole bunch of money, as far as like almost $4,000 for this junk, I'm guessing that this is for. I don't know what this is for. If you're gonna go ahead and start spending $4,000, so this obviously is for the battery right here. I don't know, but if you're gonna spend $4,000, then you might as well ball out and spend that money. So let me take these off really quickly. Now, I will say also that I am live streaming this on an iPhone. So you are seeing me on an iPhone, all right? So this is what the inside of it looks like. I'm guessing that they gave you an extra one of these because there's one already here. So just in case this ever wears out, you got an extra one here. Thank you, Apple. All right, so this little thing right here, this right here, this actually twists to make this tighter on your head. Let me pull this off. So it's a bunch of cameras inside of here that's supposedly inside of this thing. And this snaps in and out, right? So let me take this apart really quickly and show you what this is like. Put my glasses back on real quick. So this snaps in and out right here. You can see the magnets. See the little magnets, and you can see the little inserts right there. And it just pops in. And it just pops in like that. And so you can take this off. Well, I took the whole thing off. Hold on one second. All right, so I could take this off right here if I wanted to. But I'm going to pop out this whole part. This whole part right here, you can pop this off. And then you can just have the eyes part right here. So I'm going to pop this back on real quick. Now I'm about to tighten this up. It's tightening up against my head. It actually feels really good. See the back of my head? But I don't see anything yet. How do you turn this on? And see, this is why you're supposed to read the directions. Oh, I guess you got to plug it up and charge it. So let me see if I can pop this on. And then we'll move over to the next thing. So my initial impression of it is that, and this is what pops onto the charger. And so that's the charger right there. Right here. Oh, I got to take the front cover off. See, that's why I need the chat, because I'm a C student. All right, let me take the front cover off. Ooh, I look like, you see the cameras on this thing? So look. See all of the cameras in the inside? It's a camera right there, 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 and a camera right there. And all of those face the outside. So it's a bunch of cameras that actually come and looking at you. And then it's a bunch of cameras that also look on the outside that allows for me to actually see what's going on the outside. So ideally, what these things are doing, and I can see all of the vents at the top of it and stuff like that. And obviously, this is a power button right here, and this is a button that is probably a home button, and you can actually zoom back in. So the idea behind these is that when you're looking through these goggles, you're not actually seeing through the goggles what you see on the outside. What you're seeing through the goggles is what's being projected to you by the cameras, but because the refresh rate is so high, it looks like, and sometimes it even is better than what you're seeing in real life. So it's like an augmented reality slash virtual reality thing that's all in one thing that just gives you this most ideal experience, right? And so it's really, really tripped out to see how this is working. But I'm going to plug it up. Well, let me put it on first and see if it just cuts on its own. Hold on. So I had to unloosen it a little bit, and now I'm plugging it back up. So that's what we look like. You know what I feel like I look like? I don't know if y'all ever seen Aquaman, and that bug from Aquaman was already on there. Let's see if I can cut this on. I don't know what the power button is. All right, so let me do it like this. I'm going to plug it up and see if I can cut it on. Let me undo this. That bug man, that water bug man from Aquaman. I guess this goes in your back pocket, or maybe you can get a holder for it. So I'm going to plug this up. Lots of cords. And I always prefer to be the early adopter of this stuff, because I already believe that regardless of whether or not people agree with it, or whether or not people like it, or whether or not people are going to spin with it, and what I think that Apple is going to wind up doing, I think that Apple is going to wind up, obviously, as they drive down the cost of it and the adoption of it, and people continue to make stuff from it. You can see the Apple logo on there. I can see that it's starting to charge. As people adopt it and they become early adopters of it, we'll put it right here. This feels really good. I don't know how you put this on. As people become early adopters of this thing, I think that they'll drive the cost down, and then they're going to start to roll this out to the general public. Oh, okay, there we go. All right, so you just pop it in like this. So I grab it. I am so clumsy and messy. So you pop it in, and then you just turn it, and now it's starting to charge. So now let me pop this in. How do I put it on like that? All right. Let's see if it'll work. Ah! So I have to press this, press and hold this to align. This is sick. I'm looking at it. I can see you guys right now. I'm literally looking at you guys right now. It's drawing the hello, and I can see the hello around me, and everything stays stationary. So now I got to press the digital crown. This is insane, bro. Bring an iPhone or an iPad near to get started. I don't want to do this yet. So I'm going to set this up manually later. And then eventually you'll be able to see my eyes through it. And then I got to figure out the use cases for it. Because you know me. The one thing about me is I'm going to figure out how to get the money from it, right? And then I can see Setup Vision Pro on my iPhone right there. So I'll set it up, bro. It's crazy. This look crazy. So I'm going to let that charge. Because I heard it got like a 3 hour charge time or a 3 hour battery life for it. So I'm gonna let that charge, and then by the time I get done with the Millionaire Morning Show, I'll be able to take y'all through this and figure out exactly what this is. It's messy in here now. I got stuff all over the place. So I look like one of the minions. But what I do think that this thing will be is I think that this will be the complete replacement of your phone. I think that the phone is going to be an accessory to these because it's so futuristic and it's so powerful. So one of the things, and I've been researching this before I got to it, so that's how I kind of know about it. But one of the things about this that you'll be able to do is basically replace, you'll be able to replace your monitors with it. So the way that people are using it already, and I was looking at MKBHD or so whatever his name is, Marquise Brownlee, and what it allows for you to do is to see everything around you. And it's a couple different use cases that I've seen people put it through its paces in already. So one of the things that Dave did was you don't have any controllers. It's all wherever your eyes look, you pinch and you expand it, or you just do like this to select or whatever, right? You just do like that. You don't have to do any controllers. It's much different than the Meta Quest 3 or the Meta Quest Pro. And then on top of that, you can expand your work screen. And when you're editing or you're doing whatever it is that you're doing, it gives you like a huge wide view of whatever it is. So in addition to being a media controller, it allows for you to have a better, bigger workspace for you to be a lot more productive. And then on top of that, I seen a woman was using it and she was doing a review of it and she was actually interacting with the things that was around her and she was cooking with it. So she was getting different recipes, throwing it up on a screen. She was putting timers over certain things that was on a pot that was able to remind her when certain things need to be flipped or turned over. And then she was also going through her cookbook all while she had the goggles on and still being able to see everything that was interacting around her. So if anybody has ever seen Ready Gamer 1 or any of those things, this is, I believe, the first step and the most productive step. There's a lot of developers that couldn't wait to get their hands on these things so they can start developing applications for it. I'm also going to be an early tester, and it's one of the things that I'm going to use as far as starting to determine whether or not we need to use these things in order to develop better applications for where it is that I'm doing my job at, the banking industry. And so it's a lot of use cases. A lot of people look at these things and they'll say, oh man, I'm not going to get it until, or oh man, I can't afford it. For me, I look at everything from a financial and a business perspective. So I'm looking at it, how can we make money from it? How can we innovate from it? How can we be the first ones to the market with some of the products that we feel like is going to be the most innovative, which then allows for you to be able to make all of the money and be the early adopter and also the evangelist for it. So you're the person that's basically promoting it and highlighting the uses of it, the cases where it could be bad for you, the cases where it could be good for you. I'm looking at it from a business perspective. So for me, this is an investment for what the rest of the community and for the rest of the people are going to eventually be adopting and using in some capacity or shape or form, whether it's 5 years from now, 3 years from now, 10 years from now, or whatever. But I want to be the one that's at the forefront of making the money from it, not just the person that's adopting it from a casual use. I don't care about the casual use of it. I'm trying to figure out how I can make my work life better, how we can leverage it in corporate America, how we can develop and put together applications for it. I already bought 2 more, and I'm actually sending them over to a couple of different developers that work for me here in Michigan so they can figure out what the use cases are for it. So we'll be using these things, and we'll be trying to figure out how we can leverage it in order to create a better experience for most people. And that's what you should be doing if you're a part of the Millionaire Morning Show. You shouldn't just be looking at it and saying, oh man, this is just it, whatever. I don't know if people are going to adopt it. This is a $4,600 investment. I don't mind spending the money because it's a business. It's absolutely a business. We're going to write this off 100%. And we're going to have a good time while we're doing it. And we're going to figure out, we're going to live with it. And then I'm going to give you guys an update even more on it of how it is that we can leverage this in order to continue to get to the money. All right. So that is your official unboxing of the Apple Vision Pro in real life from a real person and not one of these people that get an early version of it because they so important and they cooler than me. All right. So let me spin this back around. Shout out to Black Mirror. Have y'all ever seen Black Mirror on Netflix? Go and watch Black Mirror. That's what we in. That's the era that we in. We in the Black Mirror era. All right. All right. Let me make sure I put this down. I don't want to damage my $4,600 device. I do got Apple Care on it, so If I mess it up, I can get another one, but I just want to be able to put it through its paces. I paid $4,600. It's $3,500 on the Apple website. I believe you can also go into the Apple store and try it out for yourself starting today. So it is what it is. I'll keep you guys updated on what's going on out in these streets. All right. Read a couple super chats and we're gonna get started with the real portion of the show. Amify says, I sense the Anton Daniels Tech Review channel is in your future. That may not be a bad thing. It may not be a bad thing. 40 Shorty says, Anton, I just sent you an email. I have a few questions that were too long for here. I'm looking forward to some insight, big dog. All right, 40. I appreciate you, big dog. I like that Marshawn Lynch cover photo. And then shout out to GM. I appreciate you. With the Aries logo. I am an Aries myself, even though I don't necessarily know what that means. But yeah. All right, y'all ready to get started with the rest of the show? Let's get it popping. All right. Dolton shootings, crime over in Houston. It's a lot happening out in these streets. Let's get to it, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's go to WGN's Courtney Spinelli at the scene in Dalton with the latest. Courtney.
Yeah, good afternoon to you, Ben and Lourdes. Within the last 40 minutes, police clearing the scene here in and around this auto zone behind us. A large portion of this roadway was closed off for most of the day, more than 5 hours as they spent investigating and documenting evidence. Now, we don't know much information. We're still waiting to learn more this afternoon on what led up to this. Still a lot to learn, but what we do know, according to the Dalton Fire Department, is that they took 4 people to area hospitals from the scene with gunshot injuries. Again, still a lot to learn tonight, but we did talk to some witnesses out here who say they saw and heard everything go down.
I was going to Family Dollar to get something when I heard the pop, 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 you know?
And then my coworker was like, hey, there's gunshots.
Witnesses and workers at some businesses along a busy stretch of Sibley Boulevard describing the sound of gunfire erupting, sending some ducking for cover, others like staff at Walgreens looking for a safe place to hide.
Dalton for the shots fired.
Dispatch audio from the Dalton Fire Department as crews responded to the call Wednesday morning.
Gunshot victims inside the auto zone, 1110 Sibley.
Resident Saul Mazome says the entire incident unfolding right in front of him.
Then from there was a vehicle flying, coming from Indiana, coming back this way, flying.
A path of destruction left behind, detailing the moments witnesses say at least 2 drivers crashed, both veering off the roadway and ending up in the AutoZone parking lot. It's not clear how many people were in those cars.
They got in some kind of argument, you know? And then when the shooting started, and I've seen all the people shot up in the vehicles.
At a restaurant across the street, Israel Martinez, getting ready to open for the day, quickly realizing something was wrong as a woman was pounding on the door. Then this.
All I see, she's on the car, like trying to cover herself, you know?
Martinez says staff ran into the back of the store taking shelter, watching security cameras until they felt it was safe to come out.
I was like, what if they come in here? So we had the doors locked, so.
Facts. Listen. Fellas, it's not just the black community. Let me give a round of applause for the situational awareness of what this man is saying. What am I saying here? I'm saying that his first line of defense was the fact that he had to make sure that he get home to his family. He said, listen, let me lock the doors. I don't know if they coming in here. No, he said, let me lock the doors because I don't know if they going to be coming in here, man. Listen, y'all got guns out there. We got cashiers and we got batons in here. We got window scrapers inside of the AutoZone. We got batteries. We can get you some window washer fluid. We can also make sure that you get all of your windshield wipers, all of that stuff. But the one thing is for sure and the 2 things is for certain is that you can't come in here. We going to the back until we feel like it's safe to come out. Shout out to Tiffany Henyard out there over in Dolton, making sure that the citizens are safe. No?
Investigators with several agencies focusing their attention on the spot, this reportedly all came to an end. 2 cars sitting riddled with bullet holes, a building damaged by gunfire, and dozens of evidence markers sprawling the ground. At one point, going into another nearby business with guns drawn, an employee there saying he's not sure why they made entry.
It's just crazy because, you know, thank God I was not shot up, you know, walking right there with they started the shooting, you know.
Now, agencies on scene today included Dalton and South Holland Police, Illinois State Police, crime scene investigators, as well as the Major Crimes Task Force that serves the south suburbs down here. Police have not shared any information, including the extent of the injuries to those 4 people that were taken to the hospital. They do tell us they expect to have an update by 5 o'clock tonight. We also...
Yo, this is so weird to me because it's almost like I feel like I'm living in a country that's being controlled by cartels. The way that crime is so rampant out here in these streets. I mean, people are basically in broad daylight getting into arguments. God knows what. It's probably over something stupid, or it's probably over some territory or some dumb junk. And then they doing whole shootouts right in front of businesses in the daytime, crashing out, going back and forth, getting out the car, riddling the whole city with bullets. They are getting into whole shootouts in the daytime in these cities that are outside of Chicago. That's crazy to me. I feel like I'm living in a Twilight Zone. This don't even seem real. This seems like something that was scripted out of a movie or something that you read about that's happening in another country, but it doesn't necessarily resonate as far as it happening here. It just doesn't seem real. It genuinely don't seem real to me.
Saw some people that were holed up in the Dunkin' Donuts next door for several hours today, telling us they couldn't go anywhere after this all happened. They were waiting to talk to investigators. Now, Mayor Tiffany Hangard, who is facing criticism over extravagant spending, has not spoken to reporters out here today, has not come out to the scene, and we have reached out to village officials and not yet heard back this afternoon.
Hold on, wait. Are you telling me that social media Tiff, city girl Tiff, self-promotion on a large scale Tiff that always want to make sure that she in front of the camera is nowhere to be seen when it comes to a shooting? So wait, you telling me that we can use money that's allocated for the citizens to make sure that we promote ourselves? We gonna make sure that we also have all of the billboards across the highway to say that we available when the people need us. But when it's something for you to actually get in front of the cameras for because you fear that you're going to get any more visibility that you already got, you're not going to be there to stand up for the people and the citizens to speak on how it is that you're going to solve for the crime? You're telling me that this city that is underfunded, under budgeted because we spent money on things that didn't matter, like a hockey rink, is going to prevent you from being in front of the camera all of a sudden? Wait. When have we ever known City Girl Tiff to not be in front of a camera? When have we ever known City Girl Tiff to not be in front of a camera? Look, you said that you was the people's mayor, that you was the people's champ, that you was going to be shaking and rolling, flipping and holding right in front of the people, and then all of a sudden you just nowhere to be found. You disappear, baby. No. I need you right in front of the congregation. I need you front and center in front of the congregation. This is your city, remember? This is your city, so I need you to be able to stand up for your people. But that's not the only place that crime is really happening. Y'all got to take a look at what this story happened at that transpired and then led itself all the way down into Houston. I'm going to show you women, specifically women, because men already understand this. I'm going to show my ladies today why you don't really realize, and I had this conversation with y'all on Wednesday about the types of dangers that you don't realize that you dodging every single day. You don't even know you fooled. You're not even the type of person to be that situationally aware to where you know what's happening around you, because that's not what your nature is. That's not what you're trying to do. But I'm going to show you today.
Afternoon. Reporting live in Dalton, Courtney Spinelli, WGN News.
Police say the man who robbed and killed a Vietnamese restaurant owner in Arlington just got out of prison 8 days before the crime. Hello, I'm Steve Eager.
And I'm Heather Hayes. Court records indicate the suspect tried to throw off police, but the video evidence caught up with him. Fox 4's Dion Anglin joining us now with more. Dion.
Hi there, Heather. Well, the accused killer was captured in Houston, and police say he was just out of prison for robbing someone in a similar fashion. And with this crime, it took investigators nearly a month to unravel the cover-up involving the rented vehicle he was driving.
They did some really outstanding police work that led them to a 35-year-old Fernando Taylor.
That suspect, Fernando Taylor, now sits in a Houston jail awaiting extradition. He's charged with the murder of 56-year-old Vietnamese restaurant owner Ta Thu. Police say on the morning of December 29th, Taylor followed Thu, then ambushed her as she got out of her vehicle at her New York Avenue business in Arlington. They say he snatched her purse, and during the struggle, she fell, and Taylor drove over her, killing her before he took off.
I'm muted again. Don't worry about it. We'll edit that out. I just can't imagine. I'm not even going to acknowledge the fact that I muted myself again. I can't imagine that a loved one get a phone call that says, hey, your people got ran over. They snatched their purse and they ran them over. I don't do it on purpose, real J Gutter. I promise you I don't do it on purpose. It's just a mistake. I get so caught up in what I'm saying that I forget what I'm saying. I got your text messages, Connie. People have text messages. I am listening to the text messages, right? I'm looking at the text messages right now, and the people are holding me accountable. I appreciate everybody that shows love to what it is that we got going over here at the Millionaire Morning Show, and that Chat Lives Matters. Back to the show. My point is that it's crazy to think that you can get a phone call, and in that phone call, they say, hey, we got bad news. You might be thinking, oh man, what happened? Maybe it was a car accident or whatever. And it was a purse snatcher that followed you. And their whole goal was to make sure that they get the bag from you opening up your business. And then what happens is they take your purse, they get in your car, or they get in their car, and then they run you over. I think that that is one of the most disrespectful, unfortunate, inconsiderate. Your family got to wake up to the fact that you did because you got rolled over. And you probably died in agony and pain as a result of it. It's unfortunate, man. I just can't believe that we have so many monsters running around and they're able to be out here in these streets, man. I said the reporter looked like Melissa Ford. I don't know about that. Based on our investigation, we believe Taylor followed the victim for at least an hour that morning, the morning of the murder. While it's unclear, while it's clear that he intended to rob her, but we still don't know why he targeted that victim.
Investigators say surveillance video from this store, the Restaurant Depot in East Fort Worth, where Mrs. Thu went shopping before the murder, showed Taylor in a white Dodge Durango parked near her. That same Dodge vehicle was captured by a nearby camera leaving the murder scene. It is shown here in images taken in Houston when the case later culminated.
He came from Houston. He came from Houston the day of, and he found his way to the Arlington City, and he started following this woman around.
After following,
so he drove from Houston down to Fort Worth, which is near Dallas, targeted this specific lady, realized that I'm guessing that she was a restaurant owner because she was in Restaurant Depot, and a lot of people don't realize that you do get deliveries, but you also go to places like Restaurant Depot in order to get big supplies, right? You may be getting barbecue sauce, you may be getting huge things of pepper or whatever, or maybe you need a couple of little items or some big items, or maybe you go in there and make the order, and then they have it delivered over to your restaurant, because we used to go to Restaurant Depot a lot also. And then he targeted this lady. He followed her for over an hour. He parked right next to her. There's monsters that are literally parked right next to y'all, and y'all don't even know that in 45 minutes you about to be getting ran over and you gonna have your purse in their car. Ain't that crazy to think about, that it could be a monster that, who asked me this? I think Rita asked me. She said, Anton, because I did a report or something, she says, how many people do you think that we walk past every single day that's doing something that they're not supposed to do, doing a crazy crime? How many people do you think that probably look at you and think, man, I want to rob her, but it's too many people that's around? How many people do you walk by every day that probably killed somebody? How many people do you walk by every day that they seem like normal, everyday people, but they probably touching on somebody that they're not supposed to touch on inside of their household? How many people do you think that we cross in our lifetime? Because these are only the things that we get to see. How many people do you think that we see in our lifetime? Because there's a lot of people. We don't get to see the people that don't get caught, right? How many people do you think that we see in our lifetime probably is doing some of the most reckless, crazy things that we've ever seen in our life, but we'll never know? All we get to do is see is the presentation layer. You probably going on dates with them. You probably went out to eat with them. You probably shake their hand. You probably gave them a hug. It's somebody that you know. And they doing some crazy things. They doing some crazy things behind the scenes that you know not of.
Following a trail of evidence, investigators determined the Durango was registered in Louisiana and was rented in Houston by an associate of Taylor's. They say Taylor borrowed the vehicle.
There he is. He fit the description. Anton, don't stereotype people. Just because A, B, C, D, and they fit this stereotype of another person and all of the rest of the people that's out here doing crimes, just because they got on black Air Force Ones, blue jean shorts, and white socks in the summertime or in the wintertime out here in these streets, and they riding around and they doing like this in their car, and they got a Pooh Shiesty ski mask on, that don't mean that they trying to rob you. That's systematic racism, and that's targeting. I'm calling the NAACP on you. Look, man, survival is the name of the game. You got to get home to your family. You got to get home to your people. You got to make sure that you're safe. We don't got time to be trying to make sure that people feel good about their decisions to pick wrong clothes to walk outside and looking like the suspects. No. Even the FBI, in order to catch serial killers, they call FBI profilers. They read the description and how other serial killers operate, and then they put together a profile in order to more easily identify the person as probably a suspect, and they catch them. We don't have time for politics right now.
Drove it to North Texas, then found an identical Durango and stole its license plate, making the SUV appear to be Texas registered. Police say after the murder, he removed the stolen plate and drove the borrowed Durango back to Houston.
Nobody deserves this, but she did not deserve it. Our worlds shattered that day.
One of Tu's 4 children, her daughter, spoke to Fox 4 after she was killed.
She's the most caring, nurturing, selfless person. So it just didn't make sense that would happen, or anything along those lines would happen to her.
Police say Taylor had just been released from prison 8 days before the Arlington murder. He was arrested in 2019 with 5 others for a similar crime, stalking a victim before robbing them. And
this dude is just a serial stalker, robber, killing her. Yo, you a killing her, fam. A killing her is a killer and a murderer at the same time. You a killing her. You are a killer and a murderer at the same time, bro. You a monster. You are a monster. You are. Look at that guy. He looking at all of us at the same time. He looking over there. He looking over there. He was looking at her. He got built-in Apple goggles on his face. Then this dude is a certified monster. He went into prison before the pandemic. He never experienced the pandemic. And then he came out of the pandemic after the pandemic, and he did the same thing to somebody else. Certified monsters.
And it appears he had experience switching license plates to avoid police detection. The arrest affidavit states Taylor had been released from federal custody for this sentence on December 21st, 2023, and also had a lengthy criminal history, including displaying a false or fictitious license plate.
I want to be clear, as a community, we are not going to accept or tolerate this kind of activity in our city.
Shout out to Houston. Shout out to the people down there in Texas. It's crazy out in these streets, man. It's absolutely crazy out in these streets. Ladies, you don't want to be out here by yourself. You don't want to become a victim. I know you don't think that it can happen to you, but I'm telling you that the biggest crimes is perpetuated against the people that are the weakest, because it's the path of least resistance. And then this dude is rolling people over with his car. He don't care. He got friends in jail. If he get caught, he just go back to jail. It just is what it is. Not even a big deal. Jay Ben is in the building, says the non-disciplined gone cop those goggles and download Rihanna imagery whilst getting the mic blessed on Lizzo's. VR passport bros, mental travels. Man, I'm going to tell y'all, I'm going to be on my VR all day long. Doc, shout out to Dr. Cloud, says Trusty Belcher was right in the middle of this. It was like out of a movie. Really? That's crazy, man. Bitcoin Brown says, think they would do a Ray-Ban version of these time? Nah, that thing got too much technology into it. It's got 1,000 cameras. They done bought a whole bunch of companies in order to build this thing. Nah, I got the Ray-Bans. The Ray-Bans is not, they different. They more for style. That would be dope. Appreciate you keeping us up on the forefront of the innovation, boss. Absolutely. I'm going to tell y'all what I see the use cases are. First, I'm going to talk about it inside of the Patreon, because I want to get a game of how they can possibly make money from it when I discover it. Dalton is the GTA in real life. Paul Johnson is in the building, says, hope everybody having a blessed Friday. Shout out to Anton for always coming through with the knowledge and the game. Thank you, my friend. Chase Barnes says, that's a great question there, AD, to the Houston story. Shout out to you, Chase. Ken J says, I frequented that restaurant all the time when I lived in Arlington, and the family are nice people. They are very kind to everyone. She was a good mother. Well, she ain't good no more. Good and gone. Good and gone, because we want to make sure that we continue to support criminals. But neither here nor there. All right, let's continue on. So I want to get over into this migrant crisis. Because I've been following this story. I heard that these little... Now look at this guy right here. Look at this guy at the bottom of your screen. Look at this guy right here. This is one of the culprits. This is one of the people that came over here for a better life. This is one of the ones that got arrested over in New York City, out here scrapping with and thinking that they can get with cops. Now, you know what the interesting thing about this whole story is that they were released and set free. Give us free. Do you know that this man got a tattoo of a cross down by his eye? Now, usually when you see that, any tattoo that's down by your eye, it used to be a teardrop, but they're getting a little bit more creative now. Now, it still is supposed to mean that you killed somebody. But whenever you get that cross by your eye and they got them purple lips, that's a stone cold killer, boy. That's somebody that don't care nothing about you. That's somebody that'll do anything to you for anything that they want as a result of it. And they know that they can get away with it because we got these liberal laws over here in the United States of the Americas. Yeah. Yeah, I want you to see why it's important for you to continue to help these people and support them for a better life. Y'all ready?
New video is sparking even more outrage over the group of migrants accused of attacking.
Do y'all see all of the migrants kicking the police officers right there? Do you see the migrants A ton of them. Look.
Is sparking even more outrage over the
They're
group
reaching for their guns. They reaching them. They grabbing them. They kicking them. They beating up on New York City police officers. Look.
Migrants accused of attacking 2 New York City police officers. That's what you're looking at on the left hand of your screen. Those guys were freed without bail. And now look at this. Here's one suspect flipping the bird to the cameras. He could care less. Another blows kisses as he smiles and laughs. The other suspect next to him also putting up the middle fingers and cursing at those reporters. Remorseless, brazen, smug.
I'm not muted. Just give me a second. I got to take it in. Because I'm reacting to it and I'm looking at it for the first time, similar to you guys. I'm taking it in. Let's rewind it really quickly. I want to see something.
Kisses as he smiles and laughs.
Is that a Gucci belt that he got on? And he's sagging? He got on the Mary jeans? I am flabbergasted. I am absolutely, he dressing better than y'all. He dressed better than y'all. You feeling comfortable. He don't even speak your language, but he know your mannerisms. And they was set free. Didn't even have to worry about bail. Set free in New York City, where you can't even carry a gun without getting an automatic minimum 2 years in prison for carrying. Set free and was giving y'all the finger and blowing kisses at y'all and didn't care nothing about what it is that you thought. Wow. Oh, wow. Wow. No. Kenya from Cali talking about only a dude from the D would notice all of the labels. No, I'm looking at how fresh they are. They beating up on police officers and they ain't even got to worry about going to jail with it. And they got lawyers and stuff getting them out. Jesus.
The other suspect next to him also putting up the middle fingers and cursing at those reporters. Remorseless, brazen, smug. And now the question is, will the Biden administration deport these migrants? Trace, this video is so hard to watch. On top of the video that was so hard to watch of them attacking police officers. Yep. Will there ever be accountability?
No. And for your first question, will the Biden administration deport them? Doesn't matter, because if they do, they'll be back in 6 days. How many cases do we have where these people just come back? It's a revolving door. They go and they come back. If you or I or the Atlanta Falcons, as you were talking about earlier, went to Times Square and we kicked a cop in the head and we beat up a cop, we'd be in Rikers for the foreseeable future. That would be that. There's no bail for us. These people get out, get bail. It's ridiculous. And it's part of the problem where we cover the border every single day, and we know there's social media. They have learned that not only are there no consequences to go to the United States, they are incentivized. You get free health care in California. You get hotel rooms. You get all of the things that the people who actually are citizens here cannot get, and in some cases are taken out of, like high schools in New York and airports in Boston and places in Chicago where they meet and they gather have now become these sanctuaries and these places where they house the migrants, and it's not fair to the American citizens, and they are infuriated in blue cities across the country, from Denver to San Diego to Boston to New York, wondering, why is this happening? And now the president thinks, because chaos doesn't poll well, he thinks now is the time to shut the border. And I've been trying to shut it since day one, and those darn Republicans won't sign on. And the truth is, come on, everything that Trump did, you undid. Yeah. And that was the reason we have this problem.
Can y'all with good conscience actually tell me that y'all support what our current president is doing and how everything, like, it's not even just opening up the borders. It's everything. It's the laws. It's the supporting of it. It's the Safety Act out there in Chicago. It's the liberal views. It's the being able to kick and hold. It's the no frisk policy. It's all of this social justice, diversity, equity, and inclusion, all cobbled together, and then you throw the cherry on top of feminism, and you telling me that all of this just makes sense of how the direction that the United States is going. Like, at what point are you looking at this and you saying, hey, listen, we going in the right direction? We're going in the right direction. Okay, so we've had almost 4 years of Biden, right? Almost 4 years of Biden. And at what point can anybody that voted for this president is telling me that they actually getting the thing that they thought that they voted for? What thing that he ran on actually helped you to make the decision to say, yeah, this is my guy. This is my guy. Me as a person that's running in the Victim Olympics absolutely agrees with the decision to make sure that this guy is our chief president and leader of the free world. Honestly, honest to God, seriously. And it ain't just him. It's every single decision that you make as far as the leaders that y'all got in office. Brandon Johnson, Mike Johnston, Eric Adams, Karen Bass, J.B. Pritzker, the governor in New York, she gets a pass. Gavin Newsom. Listen, I know so many of these people. Gretchen Whitmer in Michigan. I know so many of these people by name, just by default of being aware of what's happening across this country as far as the worst things that's happening to us. And we just sitting here like we don't know what the heck is going on. Like and you know what the worst part about it? I could sit here and I could show you the evidence and I could show you these guys that's getting released. And you can suffer as a result of it and they'll raise your taxes and then you get nothing and they're going to put them in your neighborhoods and in your schools and your kids is going to be getting beat up and picked on by them. And you know what you're going to do? You're going to do the same thing that you did last year and the same thing that you did the year before. And you're going to put the same people in office and you just going to do the thing that's going to basically undo everything for you. I don't get it. Why do we keep on hitting our head against a brick wall and thinking that we going to move it? I'm honestly, genuinely confused. I have no idea of why y'all decide to make the decisions that y'all making.
New numbers suggest more asylum seekers and illegal immigrants are now crossing the southern border in Arizona and California more than they do in Texas for the time being.
This is happening as a coalition of Republican governors prepares to head to the Texas border this weekend. Fox 4's Blake Hansen in now with more on the ramped up role of states in border defense. Blake.
Heather and Steve, more states this week have pledged to send manpower and other resources to the border. And while there is apparently progress in terms of Congress's plan to hatch out a border deal, there is some evidence that recent changes at the border might be having an impact.
You're the epicenter of this.
Not Sarah Palin. Oh, God. Not Sarah Palin. Drill, baby, drill. Listen, I'm pretty conservative in my views, but that don't mean that I believe in everybody. I ain't even know this chick was still out here.
In Dripping Springs, west of Austin, the collective of people known as the Take Our Border Back convoy rallied Thursday. The group is traveling to the border for protests of the federal handling of the crisis.
I think this is something that we can kind of all agree on in some way. We are very for legal immigration. We want to welcome people into our country with open arms, but we do believe it should be legally. We think they are more than welcome. Just do it the right way.
The convoy is not the only group headed to Texas' southern border this weekend. Governor Greg Abbott announced he'll host 14 other Republican governors. It's as more red states vow support for the state of Texas's efforts, with the state essentially nudging out the federal government from areas like Shelby Park and Eagle Pass.
If Texas is helping to erect barriers, putting up razor wire, doing other things to keep illegal aliens out. I want to be helpful with them doing that.
A Customs and Border Protection source tells.
Hey, I just want to shout out to all of the Republican governors that's actually putting resources behind helping Texas keep people and keep our border safe, because they realize that what happens to Texas at the border happens to all of us. And we all going to have to suffer because we all are a part of the United States of America. So when you see these people in these blue states and these blue cities continue to complain while at the same time throwing no support behind actually solving for the problem, they're just like, if not worse, than the pharmaceutical companies when they treat the symptoms, but they're not actually trying to solve for the problem. But because we all standing on business and because we all want to make sure that we get online with the sister code of supporting Biden, at what point do we break rank and we say, you know what, this is not really good for my household. This is not good for my residents. This is not good for the people that's in Illinois. This is not good for the people that's in Chicago. This is not really good for Texas. We see y'all whining up there. Y'all blowing y'all budget out of control. At what point do you snap out of it and you say, listen, the same way that we had these conversations about relationships is the same way that we need to be having these conversations about politics and doing the thing that's in our best interest.
Tells Fox News that crossings in the border sector, including Eagle Pass, dropped significantly from December to January, and a majority of crossings are now happening in Arizona and California, not Texas. In addition to Texas's hardened response, Mexico has increased its enforcement. Crossings do typically slow in colder months. Meanwhile, the problems caused by the border crisis continue to play out. Immigration and Customs Enforcement officials announced an operation that rounded up non-U.S. citizens in 25 major cities who had been accused of serious crimes. Officials also confirmed a Daily Caller report that an al-Shabaab terrorist was released into the U.S. after crossing illegally and not caught for about a year.
Did y'all know that it's reports out there, and I don't know how true this is, but it's basically reports out there that said that instead of a lot of these countries housing their prisoners, what they do is they release them over and to get over into the U.S. over the border. Why should we feed them, clothe them, house them, prevent them from being out here doing some of the worst things when we could just let them go and then see what happens when they get over to the United States of America, and we could be cool? Listen, if I'm a person or a president that's overseeing a country, and I know that the United States of America is leaving their borders open, what do you think the first thing that I'm going to do? I'm not going to continue to spend the country's resources. I'm going to get him a better life. Hey, fam, listen, don't you ever come back here. If you come back here, it's lights out for you. But you know what you can do? You can head right over to the United States of America. Why not? Get you a new life.
Listen, we need more resources, and we're working to get that as hard as we can.
Some senators say that text of a border bill and Ukraine aid piece of legislation could be released as soon as tomorrow, with a test vote to happen possibly Wednesday of next week. That is despite House leadership, Republican House leadership, pouring cold water on the prospect of.
This is so disrespectful. It's disrespectful, it's irresponsible, and it places us at a disposition. Let's read a couple of super chats, and then I want to go over to Fani. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time on Fani, but I definitely want to address it. Zach said, they said they letting people out of jail on sending them her added. MS-13 is also coming. Interesting. I think I know what you was trying to say. I appreciate you for the super chat. I9 King Collins in the building says, made it to 29 today, Anton. Shout out to the Chasers. Thanks for the great advice some months back. Made my life so much easier. Bag Chasers 2024 is I love it when people continue to be better than they were the year before. Anastasio Rodriguez says, did I get that right? Rodriguez? You like how I wrote that? Even here in the ATL, they were following me at Walmart asking for help, and I stay strapped. Stay strapped, though. Stay strapped, though. Legally. Do it legally, though. Chris Moore is in the building, says, AD, I told you they take the handcuffs off. That's what Trump is going to do when he gets in. If y'all not a part of after hours, you're not going to know what that means. So you need to make sure you're tapping in the after hours. Brock says, I got to pass a love offering for you, Tom Dog. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you, Brock. Tanisha, do you love me? Says, time for Trump to handle these migrants. Enough seen and said. And you don't need no bill pass in order for you to close off the borders. You know what I'm saying? Ali says there has to be a deeper agenda behind this migrant crisis. Love the show, Anton. A needed example of a black man, husband, father, and a chaser. Time Dog won't let you down. Time Dog won't let you down. Zach goes on to say, people voted for Biden thinking that they was going to get free stuff, but Biden did the bait and switch and gave it to the illegals instead. Same thing with Obama, except he gave it to the alphabet community. Jawan Hart says, vote blue, no matter who. How's that going? Bad for all of us. Tanisha says, we need to load the lakes up with alligators and sea creatures. I bet you migrants won't step foot in those waters. Well, they already making the adjustment. They said that New Mexico is beefing up their borders. They said that we could just go and get in through Arizona and California. They ain't tripping. Why we over here trying to get in through Texas when we can get in through California anyway? You know what I'm saying? Paul Johnson says, off topic, but Anton, how you liking that Bronco Raptor? It's a beast, man. Where's my keys at? I love this truck. It's a beast, man. This truck is one of my favorite trucks to drive on a regular basis. I can see why people decide that they want to go and get a Raptor and they want to go and get the best available version because this Raptor be Raptoring and it is a beast, man. It is heavy on the gas. It is thirsty, but it is a monster, especially here for these winters here in Michigan. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And if you can get you one, then you should get one if you can afford it. I'm going to come to you in a minute. As Mo Better says, hey, AD, so these migrants can come here, use up all of our resources, and give us a finger too? They sure can, baby. They sure can, baby. They not playing no games. Hold on. Let me get a round of applause. Shout out to Ash, my guy. Says, AD, let me be honest with you, big dog. I love that you can still hold down Detroit. I wanted that for me in Chicago. But the black experience was so toxic. I had to leave after retiring. Blacks in most large urban cities act and vote like children. I don't even understand Black America. Listen, I don't understand the culture, Ash. You are not alone. You are not alone. I am here with you, though you're far away. Ash, I don't understand it either, big dog. I'm not going to cap even a little bit. I am so confused as to what is happening in these streets. I appreciate you, Ash, for supporting the show. Thank you, my friend. You know it never goes without saying that I appreciate you, big dog. Jacques Ruel says, NYC has high-ranking demons. Stay prayed up, chasers. Stay prayed up, chasers. NYC got high-ranking demons. And you better stay prayed up. Shout out to my dog, Jacques Ruel. I appreciate you, Jacques Ruel. I am here to stay. Shout out to Jacquel. Shout out to MJ. Shout out to MJ. Woo! This whole world is going to shh. And we are going to be at the forefront with a front row seat in it. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Chasers. Can we get to Fani Willis really quickly? I want to talk about Fani. Giving y'all an update. Leaked audio from a previous employee that brought to her some issues. But also they saying that she has no plans to recuse herself from any of the cases that she's been prosecuting. Make sure you hit a like for the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe to the channel. Shout out to my people on Facebook. And turn on your notifications. Just real quick. Just an update. Then we want to get over to Keith Lee, y'all.
And now to Georgia, where Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis is indicating that she has no plans of stepping down from the state's 2020 election.
So they can call her Fanny, but I can't call her Fanny. I got to call her Fani. Which one is it? Is it Fanny or is it Fani? We like to use different news sources in order to try to be balanced here at the Millionaire Morning Show, but we still gonna give our authentic thoughts.
Election interference case. This is all according to sources close to those within the DA's office. Willis is accused of having an improper romantic relationship with her lead prosecutor, Nathan Wade. One of Trump's co-defendants claims that the two misused taxpayer money once Wade was hired onto the case. With me now, CNN's Zach Cohen. Zach, Fani Willis has one more day to formally respond to these allegations. Bring us up to speed on what more exactly you have learned.
Yeah, Kristen, we really haven't heard a lot from Fani Willis since these allegations first surfaced a few weeks ago, but I'm told by multiple sources she's been quietly and intimately involved in crafting this written response that, she has until tomorrow to file in court filings. And look, I'm told again by multiple sources that she has no intention of voluntarily removing herself from this case, despite the fact that some legal experts and even Trump and some of his co-defendants have called on her to do so after these allegations came up. But look, she is also subpoenaed to appear and testify at a February 15th hearing. That would be a hearing where she would potentially have to face questions from cross-examination from defense attorneys about these allegations of an improper romantic relationship with her top prosecutor. She faces the potential of having to also defend herself, her personal life on camera. As we know, all the hearings in this case are broadcasted live on video. So the potential for a very explosive and controversial hearing in the 15th, but we know Fani Willis behind the scenes intends to stay on this case, and it doesn't seem to be going anywhere.
Yeah, messy to say the least.
Messy is an understatement. Fraudulent, disrespectful, unethical. There's a lot of different words that we can use in order to describe, and adjectives to describe what we witnessing from Fani over here. But I will also say the biggest phrase that I would use to describe her is for the streets, man. For the streets. And arrogant. And refusing to take accountability for her actions. Now, had this been a man, y'all be trying to nail him to the cross. Listen. When they discovered the inappropriate actions of that guy that was trying to bribe Kerry Lake, they got him up out of there. They forced him to resign. They said, listen, you're not going to be doing what you want to do when you want to do it. But she can disrespect the American justice system. She can continue to persecute and prosecute and try to stand on business when it comes to pushing this agenda. And then nobody, and when I say nobody, listen. Do y'all find it a bit odd that if this is anybody, even when it comes to like popular culture, podcasters, singers, actors, dancers, Jonathan Majors got accused and he was running down the street for his life. We have a Fulton County DA that is basically busting it down for a married man. The man is allegedly busting this chick down and she's married. Went on cruises together. Now, had this been Derek Jackson, y'all gonna be all over him. But you get this chick, this 53-year-old woman, and because she fits the narrative and pushing an agenda, and she's also prosecuting the people that you don't like the most, we hear nothing but a whisper. Y'all won't even mention her name like she Candyman. I see zero. And when I say zero, I mean zero. And maybe it's just the people that pop up on my algorithm. But when I search to see what's going on out here in these streets, and I want to see what other outlets, especially women specifically, that are tackling this situation, I don't see anything. I see but a whisper. Whisper. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't do the thing that's the most popular or the most entertaining. It's easy for us to go over there and talk about Rick Ross and his baby mama, or we can go back and talk about Meg Thee Stallion and Nicki Minaj going back and forth and who won. But don't y'all want to know what's really happening in the Fulton County DA? Or the people that's prosecuting and upholding the laws and picking and choosing which cases is going to go to trial or not? Y'all don't care about that? Y'all don't care about whether or not this 53-year-old woman was throwing it back for a real one? Whether or not they was using your taxpayer money in order to fund their trips, whether they was overspending? None of that matters. We don't see nobody is holding Fani Willis accountable except the general news, me and a couple of other guys here and there. That's crazy. That's crazy to me.
So the attorney for Trump's co-defendant, Mike Roman. He's asking
Eric Daniels. The problem is not that all of the major networks is covering it. The problem, listen. The major networks, for those of y'all that really don't understand, they depend on us to determine what's hot or not. Honestly. Like, I know it seems like the major networks got pulled and it's the Fox News and the CNNs and all of that, but I'm telling you that they go away. It's not them that determines what the culture is supposed to be holding accountable and what's important to us. It's us. It's us that give the real opinions. It's us that talk unfiltered. It's us that talk about it every day and we not a part of a program, right? They are getting ad dollars. They are getting, even if a specific sponsor or ad says, hey, we don't really want you to hit on this or we don't want you to talk on that, they slant whatever it is that they talking about towards, even if they covering it a specific way because they're biased. See, when we get on here, we talk unfiltered. And there's even been, and I've shown y'all reports where, or different live streams where they're basically reading off the same script. They're reading a script. We're giving you our authentic thoughts. They're reading you a script. We're giving you our authentic thoughts. What you see come out of my mouth is what I really believe. I've picked a side on most of these issues, and I'm objective enough to look at it based off of the facts, not based off of whoever it is that's sponsoring the show, right? I don't determine what I'm going to say based off of whatever it is that other people is going to say. So when we talk about these issues, and it's not just Fani, it's across the board, what are the things that are the most meaningful to us, impactful to us, and how can we give an authentic thought about it without being slanted, biased, or deterred from telling the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? And I'm going to tell you, the people want the truth. They don't want to be sold a lie. You're being sold a lie, but they want to know the truth. And so when we have these conversations, it's not as important for the major networks to push an agenda because we've seen what happened during the pandemic when that was popping off. It's important for us on the ground floor to tell you the truth. And all of us together are much bigger and much more important than these major networks. Even a target demographic that they stream to or that they show their news to on cable networks, man, listen, most of those people are aged out. They're not even a target demographic of most advertisers as far as who they're trying to reach. So when we have these conversations, we have to have these conversations based off of what makes the most sense, not whatever it is that's being pushed to you. A lot of times they be stealing from us and using what it is that we got as far as our talking points. They talk just like us.
At least 10 other witnesses to testify at this hearing later this month. Can you just walk us through who some of those people are? It's quite a few.
Yeah, Kristen, so we fully expect Fani Willis and Nathan Wade to try to quash their subpoena and avoid testifying. But look, these individuals that have also been subpoenaed could provide testimony about their alleged relationship. You know, we have people like Fani Willis's personal security guard at one point, her bodyguard, her former assistant, and her current assistant at the DA's office. They've also subpoenaed former and current prosecutors, some of Wade's former business partners, investigators on the Trump case. So really, this co-defendant throwing everything at the wall and hoping to get some testimony on February 15th that could potentially disqualify Fani Willis from the case.
Let me play this audio recording that somebody sent me. Shout out to your car. Shout out to the people that hold me down and always keep me up to date on what's going on. Apparently, this was a recording back in November 2021 of somebody, I guess her name was Amanda Timpson, and she was voicing concern about what was happening within the offices that was connected to Fani Willis, and she was speaking to Fani specifically and bringing to her, I guess, an ethics issue of what was going on in the office. And so I'm going to just play the whole recording, and then I'm going to leave it there.
If you had to give me a sentence, what is the sentence theme?
Once I told him about his, respectfully and in an email, about his lack of leadership and the fact that he wanted to do things with grants that were impossible. And I kept telling him, like, we can't do that, and questioning stuff. He would take me off projects, tell people I wasn't doing what I was supposed to because I questioned him. Because I understood, I helped write that grant. I knew what was in that grant. He told everybody in front of Crystal, Deontay, everybody, we're going to get MacBooks, we're going to do that, we're going to get swag, we're going to use it for travel. I said, you cannot do that. It's a very, very specific grant. Took me off. I questioned Junior DA. There's kids in there from out of the county, all this. took me off junior DA. I did not want to do it. He made it look as if I wasn't doing what I needed to do because I questioned him. Because I knew for a fact Mr. Cuffey respectfully did not know what he was doing, period.
So I respect that is your assessment. It was clear to me that you and Mr. Cuffey were not getting along. And I'm not saying that your assessment is wrong. I want you to really listen to the words I'm saying.
Cuffey, and this is my personal opinion, to one woman to another, is dangerous to your administration. He tells people, when I reached out to you, he told me, oh, you think your word is safe? Exactly when you reached out to Miss Willis, she called me and told me, she tell me everything. So once you reach out to her, she's gonna reach back out to me. So I didn't even go to HR, and he put Dexter's name on my PDP, and I didn't even feel safe going to anybody.
Can I tell you something?
Mm-hmm.
I have 3 supervisors that have failed in this building. What's interesting to me, because I'm in a learning curve too, they each pretend to have a relationship with me that they do not have. I guess that's an intimidation tactic. I'm sorry that you felt that way, but you, Dexter certainly don't have no relationship with Michael Cuffey. You were safe to go those places.
Being objective, I got a couple different thoughts, right? My main thought after hearing this and hearing somebody actually come to her and say, hey, what's happening in your administration and what's happening around you is not right. My initial reaction is that you always have empathy as a manager, as a person that's held multiple different leadership positions. You always have to have empathy for the person that's coming to you because, first of all, it takes courage for them to step outside of the shadows of what's going on around you. And you have to have empathy and you have to start to investigate, not necessarily berate in that instance, because whatever is done that they come into you, it's already done, right? You got to make sure that as a leader, you're objective, that you don't jump to a conclusion, that you don't necessarily give advice, but that you just make sure that people are in a safe space to where they should be able to communicate their thoughts to you as a leader. That's number one. Number two, this lady sounds like she's running in the Victim Olympics a little bit because it does not absolve you from doing what it is that you knew was the right thing to do. If you felt like you were supposed to go to HR, if you felt like it was something that you needed to address, I don't see where Fani Willis in this situation did the wrong thing. I'm being objective. I got to be objective. I don't think that she did anything wrong in this instance. Just because people recorded it don't mean that it's something that's tied to her that's negative, that she did anything wrong. Could she have handled it a little bit more effectively? Possibly. But then at the same time, I think that this girl just sounds like she's running in the Victim Olympics. She's very emotional. She's angry. And I'm not sure what happened to her. But this recording is not a damning piece of evidence that actually brings Fani Willis down and says that she's operating inappropriate. Now, if she busted it down for a real one on somebody else's husband, or in the case that she's prosecuting and making money off of it, then that's a completely different conversation. But in this instance, it seems like the woman is just in her emotions and she's complaining about what's happening within the office. Yes, take heed, but then at the same time, go to HR. You do have a responsibility, but she's going to leadership and she's letting her know. I just think that she could have handled it a little bit better. But I'm not a fan of Fani. Oh, she fired him? I don't know what happened as a result of it. They just sent me this recording. First time I heard it, first time I reacted to it. And so I find it to be interesting. Let me read this one super chat and then let's get to the final part of the show because I want to make sure that I address this Keith Lee thing. JC Cut says they can fire a Walmart employee for doing the right thing, but they can't do anything about Funny Pack? Nope. Because when you're in a position of power, it's different, especially in an elected position. Let me get to this Keith Lee thing. So Keith Lee apparently was in Dallas, one of my favorite cities. Keith Lee was apparently in Dallas in one of my favorite cities. Now, I have not seen all of this. I've seen a couple clips of it just to make sure that I got the right clips. And shout out to the people for sending it to me. Shout out to your car. Shout out to the people that text me. Shout out to the people that keep me up to date on this, right? But apparently Keith Lee was in Dallas, and everywhere that this guy go, this guy causes a stir. I have no clue of why he's so popular or whatever like that, but It is what it is. He the man of the people, and the people chose him, and so he the people's champ. He was in Dallas, and he was giving his thoughts, I guess, to a woman that he pulled up on her food truck. Well, I'm not going to explain it. I'm going to let you see it for yourself. So this is what happened over in Dallas. Oh, hold on one second. Give me a second. This is what happens over in Dallas. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. I'm going to let them say it.
Keith Lee is officially in Dallas. I asked him for help and coming to visit my mom's food truck to hopefully turn it around. She is an award-winning pastry chef, and she is a culinary chef. She has 2 degrees. We are just from Milwaukee, and here in Dallas, it's kind of hard with the marketing because we don't know our way even around yet.
Well, we here. I got it. Let's try it and rate it 1 to 10. He spent $80.11. We are in North Dallas, Texas. We in a hood. I'm not gonna say it no other way. We in a hood. They outside cutting hair, doing braids, waiting on us. They both on live at the same time, him and his sister, but they outside ready, so we had to be 00 this whole time. I'm talking about 007 agents. It's a party out here. The customer service, my family said, was pretty good, and it was on live the whole time, so we can kind of see it. Only thing is, the only person cooking is the mama, so if you do come, please be patient. It's only one person there cooking, but it's a lot of people, so she got the option to have a lot of hands. I'm gonna show you everything I got, and we're gonna try it and rate it 1 to 10.
All right, so hold on. Listen, man, shout out to Keith Lee, but I'm not going to no hood to go and get no food, especially from no place that I'm not familiar with, and I don't live there and I don't know. Yo, if I see you cutting hair outside of the food truck, I understand that the food might be good, but I'm gonna just have to take a hard pass. But apparently he felt compelled to still do it and pull up, and so I want to see what happened. Again, I guess there's much more to the story than just him pulling up to the food truck and creating visibility for this woman.
Pulled pork sandwich, fried ribs with french fries, jerk chicken tacos with beans and rice, and 2 orders of banana pudding. Is this $80 worth of food? In my opinion, no.
But considering the fact that it's been slow and she has an overhead, the fact that this is a food truck and everything is made to order, I understand.
We sit in the car. This Dallas weather is bipolar. It was freezing cold when we got here. It's hot right now. Can't be nothing less than 80-something degrees. We're gonna start with the pulled pork sandwich. It's loaded. Only thing when you load a sandwich as much as the bottom bun does get soggy. This bottom bun already soggy. My hands greasy. It's just really good seasoned pulled pork with pickles and barbecue sauce. I wish the bun was a little more high quality. You can tell these just regular buns. Like a sweet bun on this will take this over the top. But as it is, I'm not mad at that. It's nothing crazy. 7.8 out of 10. That's pretty high for a sandwich to come out of. It's real fresh. These are deep fried ribs. And when they say deep fried, boy, I can see, but they also put sauce on it. But you can see past the sauce. This is chicken fried. You can see it better on this one. That's a chicken fried rib. I gotta wipe some of the sauce off. The sauce is good, but I don't think it's a homemade sauce. But this rib itself don't even need the sauce, to be honest with you. I don't know where she got these ribs from. Look how much meat is on that rib. In my opinion, I would take a lot of the sauce off because it don't need it. The rib by itself is very flavorful. It's crispy. It's meaty. The ribs with the sauce as is, I'm gonna go with 7 out of 10. But I feel like if she take this sauce off, this can be an 8.5.
Or even put the sauce on the side.
Put the sauce on for sure. Put the sauce on the side. It's 2 seasoned. It don't need no rib. It don't need no sauce. All that crust, man, you better let that crust speak for itself. You will make a beautiful crust like that and then cover it with sauce. Just how it looks. I feel like this is about to be the highlight. These are jerk tacos. There's some jalapenos. There's some pico de gallo. Look like some onions, cheese.
I saw it in the bite. I did.
That sauce might be homemade. That sauce is good. It's just a chicken taco. It's a great chicken taco though. It's seasoned. That sauce is spicy. 8.7 out of 10. Rice by my hand. This rice. Them beans.
What you give it?
8.7.
I'm going 9.
Last but not least, the banana pudding. Now I'm very picky on sweets. I've said it. I've always said it. Again, take my opinion on sweets.
I haven't watched this yet, so this is my first time seeing it. I'm not like I don't know. I'm just not into food reviews. So I'm just getting the whole story just to make sure that I get the whole context of what happened.
It's cool. It's not the greatest banana pudding I've ever had, but it's better than most banana puddings I've had before.
Not too sweet.
Take it back. It is a little sweet. I wouldn't eat this whole thing, but for me, as somebody who's not really a sweets person, I get a solid 7.3 out of 10.
But I like sweet. I go 8.6.
One of the main things I will say, in my opinion, the marketing does need a lot of help. There's no menu on the brother's page, on the sister page, or the mom's page. I feel like a menu with prices should definitely be top priority. That and a website change, in my opinion. I appreciate the invite. And mama, you might need some more hands back there. No promises, it might get a little crazy.
Before we left, we went in and had a conversation with the mom, and we thanked everybody for having us. Me and the mama prayed together, and we left with a $4,000 tip behind. God, it's amazing.
I appreciate y'all for having us. I see y'all giving out haircuts and doing braids.
He left a 4-band tip. All right, so this is where it gets tricky, is that he actually left a $4,000 tip. But I heard that the tip was supposed to be divided specifically. He gave specific instructions about the tip. All right, so the food was only 80 bones. That's a Detroit word, 80 bones. But he left a $4,000 tip. So I can see why he's a really good person, it seems like.
So we want to leave $1,000 to the barber so we can cut everybody up for free.
He left $1,000 to the barber.
$1,000
He left $1,000 to the food truck owner. $1,000 to the barber. $1,000 for the food truck. The lady right there. Hold on. Let me get that again because I might have missed it.
God, it's amazing.
I appreciate y'all for having us. I see y'all giving out haircuts and doing braids. So we want to leave $1,000 to the barber so we can cut everybody up for free. We want to leave you $1,000 to fix the hair. We want to leave you $2,000.
So it sounded like he left $1,000 to the girl, another girl that was back there, $2,000 to the food truck owner, and $1,000 to the dude that cut hair. All right, so it's 3 people that he left tips for. He gave $4,000 in total. He gave 3 people the money, and this is where it gets tricky. Okay, so you literally just got probably $1 million. What?
It was $2,000 for the food truck lady.
Correct.
$1,000 for the braider.
Correct.
The girl that was back there with her.
Correct.
And $1,000 for the barber.
Right, that's what I said.
Oh, I'm sorry.
$2,000 for the food truck lady, $1,000 for the other girl that was helping her.
Which is also the braider.
Correct, and then it's $1,000 for the guy that was cutting hair in the parking lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
And those two are sister and brother.
And the dude and the girl is sister and brothers, the braider and the guy that was cutting hair in the parking lot?
Yes.
Okay, so $4,000 tips. He gave them specific instructions on what to do and how to divide it up. And this is where it gets tricky. Now, you're literally getting hundreds of thousands, probably $1 million worth of publicity to a new business that you started that had no visibility whatsoever. Let's continue to watch.
So you started my barber for $4,000 y'all give me I appreciate it. Absolutely.
And after this, I pray and hope you reach your target audience. God bless you. Have an amazing day. Y'all be safe.
What's up, y'all? I bet you're wondering how we got here. Well, let me tell you. So a lot of y'all know yesterday I got to meet Keith Lee. Great. Congratulations. I'm still humbled by the experience. Like, I am ecstatic. Blessings to your family. I really appreciate you. But now this is where the downfall comes in. A lot of y'all was on my live when he said this.
I see y'all giving out haircuts.
My little brother, yeah.
So we want to leave $1,000 to the barber so he can cut everybody.
Oh, that's my little brother. He went to go pick up my baby brother from school.
We want to leave you $1,000 to cut hair. We want to leave you $2,000.
And granted, everything was cool, right? Me being me and thinking everybody else is going to have the same genuine heart as me, I charged him $4,000 on his card, meaning all.
So he put it on his card. He didn't give him cash. He put it on his card. Okay. All right. So she must be the hair braider. That was just helping out in the back. That was just helping the lady. All right. Got it.
All the money went to the food truck in hopes that she would do what she needed to do, right? Wrong. So after everything had died down, mind you, on top of him tipping $4,000, this man left an extra $886 to feed everybody else that was coming, right? Right. But this is where she went wrong. I'm in the truck, mind you, I'm a worker. This is your business, so I'm doing what you say. She tell me after this person, which is a third person, that you got to start charging again. Now it's one thing when he say I'm leaving this for free, and for somebody to come and order like one of everything on the menu and try to get both desserts and drinks and shit. Like, yeah, you can put a limit on that. But if this man left you almost $1,000, why the fuck did you stop handing free food out after the—
All right, so apparently he spent well over 5 bands, at least 5 bands. He left almost $900 more and said, listen, for everybody else that come up here, you know, here's $900 for whatever it is that they got going on. Give them free food. Let me give a round of applause for Keith Lee, because very rarely do you see people that just got a good ass heart. First sign agreed every time. And this is why every single time, why I personally say to people, I don't do business with everybody. You may be a good cook. You may be a good, you know what I'm saying? Like, you may be a great business person. It does not mean that you are a good person when it comes to what you're doing on a regular basis. You are out here finessing people. Your greed. You finally got a big break. You got the opportunity of a lifetime to completely change the dynamics of your business and do the right thing. And the first thing that comes to your head is, after the third person start charging again, after he left you a ban to basically let people eat for free in order to do the right thing, he prayed with you. This is why, man, we got to vet people. It's not just about, go to black businesses. It's not just about it's for the culture. It's not just about support people. You don't know who the core of these people. See, now, if it wasn't for her that was sitting there, that was witty, that was trying to help, we would have never even got the backstory, and y'all would have just been supporting the finesser. It's unfucking fortunate. I mean, let me be quiet. This is not after hours. It's unfortunate. Excuse my language. Excuse my French.
the third person? Make it make sense. So, all right, everything was cool. It was time to close down. You know, my friend done ran to the store. He helping his mom. He coming out his pocket with his own money. And I looked at her and I was like, so Keith Lee literally just spent $5,200 with you. She was like, girl, I know. I'm so excited. Like, before I got on here, I was broke. And before y'all come for me talking about don't be releasing no personal information, it got personal when you played with my baby brother. So everything was cool, calm, and collect, right? She told me, she said, look, I just want to let you know it'll be about a day or two before you guys get your money. I work with Square. I've been running my business for the past 4 years with Square, so I know exactly how it works. But if you've been running this business for years, your money gonna clear the next day, correct? So this morning we got up. Mind you, I'm thinking I gotta go back to help her because yesterday you ain't have nobody that wanted to work for you. You get what I'm saying? So my friend had me come and help you, and then my brother was really only out there, but you somehow trying to make it seem like my brother was giving free haircuts when he was posting flyers with his prices on them. Come on. So then I wake up today. People hit me up talking about, we want to make your menus. We want to make your flyers. Da-da-da-da-da. My main thing was, I'm not the face of this company. You get what I'm saying? I'm not the face of this company, but I can put you in contact. If you go through my comment section, you will definitely see where I'm tagging her business over and over and over because people thought it was my shit. So I hit her this morning, was like, Kim, you have workers today? Also, there's a guy who's wanted to do your menu and flyers for you, so I'm sending him your number. Who is this? Sherelle. Yes, I have workers for today, and you can send me his info. Thank you. That was it. So I respond back. I will send you his Instagram, and did you see if your money cleared? You can keep the money that was left for me, but my brother is preparing to leave and go back home, and I'm unsure how he'll get it once he leaves. Granted, all I had to do was send it to her, or she could have sent it to him, whatever. She said, please call me back so an agreement can be made. But before we even got to those messages, she called me and she was just like, well, I didn't invite your brother to come out there and cut hair. I didn't invite you. My son invited you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give $1,000 to my son and he'll give y'all whatever it is he see fit out of there. Hold on, ma'am. Hold on. Now, I did you a solid by saying I get money. When I opened my eyes this morning, I had a deposit for $1,500.
That don't matter. That don't matter. Give me my money. I don't care if it was 13 cents. Give me my money. Give me my money. She shouldn't even have let her keep the $1,000. She should have kept it. You give me my $1,000 and then I'll give it to my brother and then he'll have $2,000. Give me my, listen, a ban is a ban. Give me my money. I don't care if I'm a millionaire. Give me my money. What do you mean I'm going to give $1,000 over into my son and let him distribute it however he see fit? It's specific, clear instructions. You get 1,000. You get 1,000. You get 2,000, and feed the people for another $1,000. Why are people so greedy, and why do they do dumb stuff when you got the alley-oop? You got it in front of you. You got the. You know what? I was telling my brother. I was talking to one of my brothers, my older brother, and he was like, "Yo, Anton, what happened to this person and this person or whatever, so on and so forth that you used to have on your platform or you used to rock with or whatever." And I just looked at him like, he was like, well, how are they doing? And I was like, and he was like, man, that's so unfortunate. He said, that's so unfortunate. He said, don't they realize that you was giving them the alley-oop? That you was leveraging your platform, that you was making them big, that you was making them a lot of money, that you was doing this, you was doing that. He said, what happened to this person? What happened to this person? He said, what about that person online that you was telling me that you was going to give the alley-oop you to? I was like, sometimes I give people advice. Sometimes I test them. Sometimes I see where they hard at so that I can determine whether or not I'm going to actually rock with them. Sometimes God lead me down a different path or whatever. But I have seen in my lifetime so many people fumbled the opportunity, fumbled the bag because they cannot keep themselves together and contain themselves from showing me who they really are in real life. The minute that you introduce an opportunity, the minute that you introduce money, you can start to see who people are in real life. You can see who people are in real life. And because they not focused, every time they reveal themselves. So a lot of times, I just back up. I let them go back down into where it is that they came from. And I just keep on moving and I just keep on cooking.
You get what I'm saying? And I made money since. So I told you to keep my money, but I was more so pressed about the issue of my brother. Keith Lee don't know my brother. My brother don't know Keith Lee. My brother don't know any of y'all out here. But when you gave him the green light to post his flyers, after he cut both of your sons' head, yes, they paid. He wasn't cutting nobody's hair for free. Who the fuck put that out there? If you cutting hair for free, why are you posting flyers with prices? You get what I'm saying? There's a girl on Facebook, hold on, whom I'm assuming is her oldest son's wife, fiance, whoever she is. This is all lies, just like the free cuts were, because people had to pay. Of course they had to pay. The two people hair that he cut was both of the owner's sons. So why the fuck would he be giving the owner's sons, whose mom is getting visited by Keith Lee, free cuts? You get what I'm saying? Because it was never advertised. But then I later found out my friend had said he assumed that he was giving free cuts. No, he pulled up to the area because he saw it as an opportunity because we couldn't make it to Jonathan's shop to meet him in time. No one. Y'all didn't hear it on my face. Y'all didn't see it on my platform. Y'all didn't hear it out my brother's mouth say, I'm giving free cuts, pull up to the spot. Do you know how many people would have pulled up? Keith Lee probably was under the assumption. Hell yeah, he didn't even say it. Let's be honest. Keith Lee didn't even say, oh, I'm giving you $1,000 because. He said, I'm giving you $1,000 so you can go and get free haircuts. But bitch, we couldn't even make it out there to get free haircuts because you tripping over $2,000. Now the principle of the matter is, because I know several of y'all out there thinking like, bro, it's just $1,000, bro. Like, don't you got more money than that? Don't TikTok pay you? Da-da-da-da. TikTok pays me well. YouTube pays me well. Both of my Facebook pages pays me well outside of whatever it is that I do in my real life. You get what I'm saying? The principle of the matter is my brother is from Louisiana. My brother is a self-taught barber. He went and got his license just so he can work in a shop. And when he come out here and he posting up with all of his shit outside and he's saying, yo, I'm
This don't even matter. I don't even want to hear it. She too loud for me. So that's not my vibe. The fact of the matter is, I got the gist of it. And the gist of it is that the food truck owner finessed. And I'm not even going to pull it. I know y'all sent me the actual Instagram page and her TikTok page so we can deep dive into it a little bit more. But I'm not going to even show it because I don't even want to feed into the negativity because I'm sure that it's already been enough negativity that came along with it. I read a couple of the comments that was on her page and people was like, is it worth it? I can't believe you messed up this opportunity. You finessed. The people was going to support you. It's unfortunate. It's very, very much unfortunate. Sometimes you put your foot in your own mouth and it doesn't pay out for you because you too greedy. You never got your character together. And so when God finally blessed you with the opportunity, you fumble. We have to pray for character. We have to pray for a good spirit, a good heart, because an opportunity doesn't mean anything if you don't know how to capitalize off of it and you can't keep the blessing because you wasn't ready for it. It's unfortunate. Lady messed up her own business, all because she wanted to trade it in for a couple $1,000s and finesse the people. And the red flag was when she stopped giving out the free food in the first place. Just got greedy. Just got greedy. Let me read this a couple of super chats, and then I'm going to get y'all up out of here for the day. I'm about to play with these Apple Vision Pros, and I'm going to let y'all know what it's like. I'll probably do a video about it today. AL says, I'm investigating, or are you investing in? A ghost kitchen for Uber Eats and a food truck. Currently talking to city council to influence the rules on late night food trucks. Why you want to influence the rules? How come you can't just open one up? Ash says, ADC. Yeah, I see exactly what you're talking about. This is the black experience. It's shameful and it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, Ash. Unfreaking fortunate. Zach says this is the one reason why people don't support black businesses. Too greedy and unprofessional. Support good businesses. Listen, y'all. My advice to y'all is stop determining whether or not you want to support something based off of the color or some outside influence. Support the business because you actually like the business and they give great customer service and they make great food. Just rock out with people that rock out with you and they treat you well. AL says also no, Biden didn't promise black people anything. Remember, Ice Cube had presented the only reasonable plan for blacks, and Biden said, we'll call you later, get nothing, and like it. Shout out to AL. I appreciate you, big dog. AR Smitty is in the building, says, finessed the prayer just like Trigger. Yes. This dude was out there praying and everything for him. Jamal Fowler says, checking in, have a blessed weekend. Appreciate you, Jamal. Will to CNA says, no fumble on a Friday. Back chasers, assemble! I love y'all. Greatest group of people on the face of this earth. I could not imagine even a little bit. Can't imagine even a little bit ever not having you guys on my team. I love you guys. I appreciate you. I haven't determined whether or not I'm a live stream tonight or tomorrow night on After Hours. But I definitely appreciate all of the love and the support. And I'm not going to finesse you, that's for sure, because I really do love y'all and I appreciate y'all. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Definitely about to deep dive into this. Shout out to Eric Daniel. Shout out to Yakar. Shout out to all of my friends and family. Shout out to the people that support the platform. I love you. I appreciate you. Get that Teach Hanley 30% off your first order plus a free gift. Also, make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Keep holding me accountable for having my stuff on mute. Horrible habit. I be trying to do the right thing and muting to make sure that y'all don't get distracted by certain things, but then I forget to unmute. I don't know, something wrong with me. Anyways, I need y'all to do me one more favor before we get up out of here. Oh, and Thursdays is mine. Make sure you share this with your family and friends. We don't want to be successful by ourselves. Shout out to Enos Luby says, as always, thank you. Have a blessed weekend. We love you back. Aw, I appreciate it. Thank you, Enos. Hey, Enos, guess what? Thursdays is mine now. It's After Hours with Anton Daniels. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. The best day to tap into the Patreon is the beginning of the month. Link is in the description. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all later. See you, Connie. What up, Quentin?